Hi there, welcome to Daisy Dell. So, in today's episode, we are actually going to look through some guidelines for cropping portraits, and I'm going to tell you almost about 7 points that I have in mind for when you're cropping with pictures, especially portraits. So, the first thing that you need to have in mind is you should know the purpose of your crop. For example, why do you want to crop a certain picture? Is it to bring more focus into, let's say, if it's a portrait, is it to bring more focus into the eyes of the person? Or is it something particular that he's doing around his face that you want to bring attention to? So you should always know the purpose. Or if it's a landscape or anything like that, is there something particular that you're looking for that you cannot get in the complete picture? Because obviously when you're cropping a photo, it's like you're losing pixels. If you're losing part of the image, and you're almost losing some amount of quality too, since you're obviously kind of zooming in. So be sure that you know the exact purpose for why you're doing whatever you're doing, like wherever you're cutting it. So the next thing is that you need to know your image. You need to understand and you need to completely know whether your picture is of that quality, whether your picture can stand that crop, whether your picture is sharp enough, whether your picture is, is it worth it? Especially if your picture's already really low quality, you just don't want to crop it. Or even if it's just, not really of HD quality, you don't want to crop it. I mean, you just don't want, you just want to work with whatever you have. So you need to know the image, or sometimes you need to understand the trade-off. Like, for example, if you cut it down, you're gonna lose on the quality, but sometimes the quality is not as important as what you want to show in the image. So you should always know whatever you're, going for. So the next thing you need to understand, especially when it comes to portrait and landscapes, is the rule of thirds. I I know it's very mundane talking about it again and again, but rule of thirds is one of the most generic and more very important rules that you could follow while taking your pictures and while cropping them. So kind of be sure that you're following the rule of thirds. You can obviously break them, but not break them, but it's better not to, because a lot of people kind of try to, be really cool and break them, but then it just sucks and it just doesn't make point what do you want to show in a picture. Also, I mean, when it comes to rule of thirds, obviously be sure of the framing, I mean, equal distances and all that, right? Another thing that's more important is, are the surroundings important? When you're cutting down on your image, be sure that you're not missing on important information or important things that are around your main subject. Sometimes when you're actually zooming in so much, when we're focusing so much, or when we're cropping in to the face only, it actually basically just makes us selfish, and we just want to think about the face of that person, but that's not right. You need some of the background too. So, I mean, obviously it depends from situation to situation, but yeah, you need to have a consideration. You need to just once look back and see whether the surroundings are important or not. The other thing that's important is the angle right? I'm kind of talking about whether the subject is placed like straight into the photo. Do you need to like rotate the picture a little bit, maybe by 1 or 2 degrees? But yeah, that actually makes a lot of difference. A lot of people would just be like, yeah, why should I just rotate it a little bit and lose those corners and lose a part of the image? But that's really, really necessary. So yeah, if you think the angle's out by even 1 or 2 degrees, make sure you actually uh, change it, right? The last thing that comes to my mind and it's actually kind of very important, is that you need to see if your picture is sharp enough. I kind of covered that in Know the Image, but still, this needs to be said out very um, explicitly too. The thing is, if your picture is not sharp enough, you need to just, stay zoomed out. You don't want more attention of the viewer to the fact that your picture is not sharp enough. So if your picture is not that sharp, so it's better to actually just avoid it rather than, just bring more attention to it. So these are the 6 things that I have in mind. Sorry, I said 7 in the beginning. So these are the 6 things that I have in mind when it comes to cropping photos and what I think about. So I'm just gonna basically demo this using one of the pictures. So this is the picture that I'm gonna do. So basically, this is a picture of this girl, but the thing is, the more important part here is her face, her eyes, and how she's holding her little fingers in near her mouth and all, right? So basically, I'm just going to the crop photo section, and then I'm just going to zoom in to where her hand is and then her face, because everything else isn't really important. There's no specific background that I'm looking for. There's nothing in the background that's like very important. So I'm just gonna do that. So I'm obviously picking up whatever size that I want, whatever aspect ratio I want. So I could keep it to original, I could give up my own custom one, or I could just choose a particular one for Instagram and stuff. So for now, I've just locked it on original, and I'm just cropping it down to the side. So on the left side, there's this preview navigate under the navigator bar. So you can actually preview how it looks as a solo photo when you're doing that using the grids in the center of the crop band that it shows. There's grid, so you could actually align the eyes with those crosses or those intersections that you actually see. So I am like fixing it to a little bit of more zoom, because all the focus that I want is on the eyes and her hand, because that is the real cuteness. The texture of her skin is the real deal in this photo. Nothing else really is. So I am just gonna keep fixing it and just gonna see what makes difference and how I really like it. So this is the final result. This is what I think suits. So yeah. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and let me know in the comments below what you like and what you did not like, and what you'd like me to do in the future for you guys. So until next time, take care. Bye bye.